again, this is David Nash from the Shepherd School, and today what we're going to do is we're going to sprout. We're going to sprout some wheat, and we're also going to sprout some mung beans. Now, contrary to popular belief, sprouting is not just for hippies and vegans and vegetarians or what. It also works for us carnivores. Sprouts works really good because it's another use for our stored wheat. And let's face it, making bread every day with 400 pounds of wheat, you're going to want some alternatives. So it's pretty simple, but you've got to plan ahead because this is going to take about 3 days to do, depending on how big you want your sprouts. But basically, whatever seed that you're sprouting, and most seeds can be sprouted. However, you need to get you a book, a reference, because some sprouts, especially things like pinto beans, are actually toxic. The sprouts are actually toxic, but most things can be sprouted. And the cool thing about sprouting is that it changes the flavor of the actual seed, and what we're doing by sprouting is we're making the seed actually come alive and put out a root. When we do that, that activates all the enzymes in it, and so it's more nutritious for you, where your body's able to use the nutrients in the sprout easier than it can the nutrients in the regular seed. So what we're going to do is we're going to put about a cup, and these aren't really exact. You could do more, you could do less, but we're going to put about a cup of wheat in a jar. And it doesn't have to be a mason jar. You could use a bowl. You just need to be able to cover it with some sort of filter. You need to be able to drain the water off. I'm going to have to clean that up. Alright, about a cup of beans. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put about 2 to 3 times as much water in the jar as you do your beans. And like I said, it's not an exact ratio that you're looking for. What you're trying to do is to make sure that water gets around each one of these seeds, because we're telling it that it's able to be planted, or that it's planted. So what we're going to do is we're going to let these soak anywhere from 6 to 12 hours. I generally do it overnight. And then we'll pour the water off, okay? And then we'll put water back on it. Now, for the subsequent draining cycles, you're not actually filling it up. You just want to put some water. You're just keeping it moist. So you'll drain the water off, you'll pour water on, you'll drain it off, keeping these seeds moist. And what you'll do, you need to drain the water because you don't want these things to rot or to ferment or to mold, but we want to keep them wet. So what we're going to do is probably every morning and every night we'll just change the cycle out the water. You know, pour it off, re-rinse it, shake this stuff up, keep it moist. It's important to keep it covered, but you don't want to put like a mason jar lid or something over here, because you want to get some airflow, because airflow is going to keep this stuff from going bad. And so what I like to use is just cut up cheesecloth. We'll put over here, and I've got some rings. Which makes the rinsing a little easier. And really the only other thing that you have to do is keep it kind of warm and keep it in a lighted area, but you don't want to put it in the sunlight, especially when these seeds start to sprout, because once it starts to sprout and grow the actual bean, you put it up against sunlight, it's going to turn green, which is going to change the nutrient factor, unless you're making wheatgrass, which is the subject of a whole nother video. you want to keep it white, and you do that by keeping it out of direct sunlight. So we're just going to let this sit, and we're going to come back tomorrow, and we'll drain it, and we'll let you see what we do there. So we'll come back tomorrow. Okay, this is day 2. We've basically let the mung beans and the wheat sit out overnight. The only thing that I've done is I've taken some scissors and cut off some of that extra cheesecloth. So all you're going to do is just strain your juice out, your water. I'm just holding this strainer just in case my cheesecloth breaks and I don't want stuff all over the sink. Some people collect this water and drink it. It tastes a little nutty or a little weedy. I don't, but I know some people do. We're just going to put some more water in it. The goal is to keep it moist, but to let air get in there so it doesn't mold. We put some water in there, and then all we're going to do is just drain out the excess. And then this evening we're going to come back and do it again. So we're just going to put this somewhere. I like on my kitchen counter over here where it doesn't get hot, it doesn't get direct sunlight, but it does get some light. And I expect these to start sprouting probably tomorrow or so, but we'll come back and check again tomorrow morning. In between now and then though, come the evening before I go to bed, I'm going to repeat that process one more time. So till tomorrow, we'll see you. Okay, so this is day 3 or day 2.5, depending on how you count. Saturday afternoon we started the sprouting, and then Sunday morning we washed the sprouts. Sunday evening we washed the sprouts, and now it's Monday morning. I don't know if you could tell, but they're starting to sprout a little bit, and they're also really growing in volume. See little sprouts in there. Pretty soon I'm going to have to split these up, or they're going to overflow my jar. Your sprouts are going to grow in volume 2 to 3 times. So that's something you need to experiment and see how much per jar. So I'm just going to wash these again, and then wash them again tomorrow or tonight, and then tomorrow I'll show you. They'll probably be ready tomorrow, but you can let them grow a little bit more. Just when they start getting green, then they turn into wheat grass rather than wheat sprouts, and so you have to juice them because we don't eat grass. We're not cows. So anyway, we'll come back tomorrow and let you see what's going on. Okay, so it's Tuesday morning, and you can see that last night I had to end up taking some of them out of the jars and putting them in some bowls. The mung beans are doing real good. As a matter of fact, I ate some yesterday, which is the first time I've ever actually ate mung bean sprouts. It's kind of tasted a lot like fresh sweet corn in texture, and like canned garden peas in flavor. So it wasn't unpleasant, even though I didn't think it was like the best stuff in the world. My wheat's sprouting, but you can see they're not anywhere near the size and texture of the mung bean sprouts. So I'll probably let this go one more day, and then the wheat would probably be where I'd eat it. But we'll keep going until the stuff actually turns green, so you can see how long that takes. Okay, here we go, our last day. That's about as much as we're going to let them go. You can see that the bean sprouts are starting to turn green. And you can see that the mung beans are pretty big. So we're going to pour them out and let you see what it looks like. But the bean sprouts are probably about as far as you want to go. If they get much more, they're going to be wheatgrass. Okay, here's the mung bean sprouts. And here's our wheat sprouts. And like I said, these probably went just a little too long. They're starting to turn green. It's not near as hard as what you'd think it is, but it does take a little bit of getting used to. Alright, appreciate it.